Let's go! Let's go! East Bay, we're moving up. Dreams and keys, yeah, we're leveling up. Dwayne's got the plan, let's go!
Should I sell my Brentwood, California home before buying another one? If you're thinking about moving in Brentwood and trying to figure out whether to sell your home first or buy first, this decision can either save you a lot of stress or create a really expensive problem. And honestly, a lot of homeowners get this wrong because emotions usually take over before strategy does. People start looking online at homes, they find something they fall in love with, and suddenly they are trying to figure everything else out afterward instead of having an actual game plan first. And that's usually where stress starts creeping in. If we haven't met, I'm Dwayne Newberry, a real estate agent here in Brentwood, California, and I help homeowners move without putting themselves in a bad financial situation. And today, I want to walk you through how to actually think about this the right way, because there's no perfect answer for everyone. It really depends on your finances, your comfort level, your timing, and honestly, your stress tolerance. Now, most people think this is a market question. It's not. It's a strategy question. The real issue is this. You're trying to avoid two things at the exact same time: being stuck without a home or owning two homes at once. And both situations can create pressure if you're not prepared. Let's start with selling first. For a lot of people, this is honestly the safer route. Why? Because it gives you clarity. You know exactly what your home sold for. You know exactly how much equity you have. You know what your monthly payment range looks like. And you know what your real budget is before shopping for another one. That removes a lot of guesswork and a lot of financial pressure. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming what their home is worth instead of actually knowing. Then they start shopping based on numbers that may or may not happen. Selling first eliminates that problem. Now, the downside is obvious. You need a plan for where you're going next. And this is where people really panic. They think, wait, does that mean I have to move twice? Not necessarily. There are actually a few ways around that. One option is negotiating a small rent back. This is extremely common. Basically, after you sell your home, you stay in your property temporarily and rent back from the new buyer for a short period of time while you shop for your next home. That can buy you time and reduce a ton of stress. Another option is temporary housing. Maybe it's a short-term rental, staying with family briefly, or doing a month-to-month situation while you transition. And honestly, temporary inconvenience is sometimes far better than long-term financial stress. Now, let's talk about buying first. This is the option most homeowners want to do emotionally, and I understand why. It sounds easy. You find the perfect home, you move once, you're done. No temporary housing, no storage, no uncertainty about where you're going, and in theory, it sounds perfect. But here's where people can get themselves into big trouble. If your current home doesn't sell quickly, now you're carrying two mortgages, two property taxes, two insurance payments, and two sets of utilities. And suddenly, what sounded exciting starts feeling very stressful, especially if the market shifts or buyers become more price sensitive. And right now, buyers are more price sensitive. Overpriced homes are sitting longer than they used to. So if somebody buys first, assuming their current home will sell immediately and it doesn't, that pressure builds up fast. I've seen people go from excited to overwhelmed in a matter of weeks. I actually worked with a Brentwood homeowner who originally wanted to buy first. They found a house they absolutely loved, and emotionally, they were already picturing themselves living there. But once we sat down and really looked at the numbers honestly, it would have been very tight financially if their current home didn't sell quickly. Could they technically do it? Yes. Was it comfortable? Not really. And that's an important distinction. Just because you can do something financially doesn't mean it's the smartest move. So instead, we changed the strategy. We sold their home first, then we negotiated rent back so they had extra time after closing, approximately 30 days. That gave them flexibility, breathing room, and negotiating power without feeling rushed. And honestly, it made the entire process smoother. Now, there's also a third option a lot of people don't even know about. It's called a contingent offer. And this basically means you make an offer on a new home, but the purchase is contingent on your current home selling first. Sounds great, right? And sometimes it works very, very well. But here's the catch. Depending on the market, it can make your offer a lot weaker. Because from the seller's perspective, they are taking on more uncertainty. They want to know when they're getting paid for their house. If they have another buyer with no contingencies, they may choose that offer instead. Now, in a slower market, contingent offers become more common and more accepted. But in a competitive market, they can definitely be tougher. So again, this goes back to strategy, not emotion, not headlines, and not what your friend did in the past. Your situation is unique, and honestly, timing matters too. If inventory is low and your home is positioned correctly, you may sell faster than expected. But if you overprice your home thinking buyers will just figure it out, that's where problems start happening. Pricing and preparation matter more now than they did a few years ago. Homes that feel clean, updated, and move-in ready are still getting strong attention. But buyers are comparing everything right now, and they are much more careful with money. So here's probably the simplest way to think about this entire conversation. If you want less risk, selling first is usually safer. If you want more convenience and control over your move, buying first may feel easier. But the right answer depends completely on your financial situation, your comfort level, and your overall plan. There is no one-size-fits-all answer. That's why before making a move, it's worth sitting down and actually mapping this out. Looking at your equity, looking at timing, looking at your payment comfort zone, looking at the local Brentwood market, and figuring out which path creates the least amount of stress for you. Because moving is already emotional enough. The last thing you want is putting yourself in a financial situation that keeps you up at night. If you're thinking about making a move in Brentwood and you're trying to figure out whether you should sell first or buy first, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to walk you through your options, your timing, and help you build a strategy that makes sense for your situation. And honestly, sometimes one conversation can save people months of stress and expensive mistakes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.